In case you missed the news, the state of Illinois and Oklahoma recently passed strict regulations about wholesaling. The city of Philadelphia followed suit, and currently multiple other states and local municipalities are enacting laws and regulations prohibiting traditional wholesaling, and I believe that's just the beginning. According to this regulation, you can't assign contracts anymore. You need to actually buy the house and resell it to a cash buyer. Hi, my name is Jerry Norton, and in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how to get 100% funding for an unlimited number of deals for life. With my 100% funding system, your credit and financial history do not matter. That means no credit checks, no tax returns, no bank statements, and I don't care if you have a ton of debt, foreclosures, or even a bankruptcy on your record. I don't care because I'm not the bank. All I care about is the deal, and if you have a good deal, I will fund it. Pretty cool, huh? Now, before I continue, you're probably wondering why I would do this. Why would I provide 100% funding for your deals? What's in it for me? Well, the answer is simple. This is a pilot program. I need a handful of people to use my money for deals so that I can build a proven track record so that later I can build a multi-million-dollar fund and raise money from accredited investors. The hardest part about raising money from these types of investors is twofold. One, they need to see that I've lent my own money on deals, and two, they need to see a proven track record of successful transactions. So right now I'm looking for a handful of people to help me build that track record. And if you get in now, you'll be locked in at my 100% funding program for life. This is Jerry Norton here, and we are about to get started in just a minute. Thank you for all of you who are here and on time and ready to go. If you're just tuning in and you're here to learn about how to make money quickly in real estate without having to invest any of your own money or credit, then you are in the right place. I've got a few housekeeping things before we get started. Make sure you remove any distractions. Close the door, turn up the volume, shut off your phone, turn off the TV, close down social media, and get out a pen and paper to take notes on, because over the next 45 minutes or so, what I'm going to share with you is going to be a complete game changer if you've been looking for a way to make extra money with real estate, and especially if your goal is to transition into real estate full-time and become a full-time investor. And if you're already a full-time investor, this is going to allow you to 10x your income. Now, you made the effort to be here, and I want to make sure you get the most out of this training. So please give me your full undivided attention. I promise to make this training worth your time. Like I said, over the next 45 minutes or so, here's what I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you how to find the very best discounted properties in your market, or really any market you choose. 2, how to immediately find a buyer and flip those properties for a profit without doing any work to the properties. And best of all, 3, what makes it all possible is I'm going to show you how to buy and flip these houses using 100% of my money, none of your money or credit. That means if you're serious about making money right now in real estate, let me make this as simple as I possibly can. I'm going to give you the deals and the buyers, and most importantly, 100% of the money to do the deals. That means you can do this as a side hustle and start earning $5,000 to $10,000 per month or more, or make it a business and earn $20,000 to $30,000 per month or more. Now, I'm not saying that it's easy, but it is simple if you're willing to put in the effort and follow the steps that I'll show you. On this training, I'm going to show you a software that I created that finds unlimited distressed properties and also finds unlimited investors who will buy those deals from you for a premium. And best of all, I'll let you use my money to fund the transactions so that you don't need any money or credit for those deals, allowing you to start making money right now. And by the way, when I say I'll fund your deals and your credit doesn't matter, what I mean is I don't care about your credit or your personal financial history. I don't need to see tax returns, bank statements. If you don't have a job or show any income, I don't care. And I don't care if you have a ton of credit card debt, student loans, or even foreclosures or bankruptcy on your record. You are approved because I'm not a bank. Screw the banks. All I care about is the deal. This is also known as asset-based lending because the only thing that matters is the asset, in this case, the house, not your creditworthiness. So guys, I'm really excited about this program that I'm going to share with you. I call it the 100% funding system, and I can't wait to break this down for you step by step. So let me take just a minute here and tell you about me in case you don't know who I am, and also why I'm offering this program in the first place, how it came about, and how you can get started using it right away. At the age of 27, I was an underground construction worker. I basically was a laborer who used a very sophisticated tool, maybe you've heard of it, a shovel. I was earning minimum wage and living paycheck to paycheck and going nowhere in my life. Then one day I was invited to attend a real estate meetup about how to flip houses. Now at the time, I didn't have very many options in my life, but I knew I wanted something better for me and my family, so I went for it. I actually borrowed money to hire the most successful investor I could find to mentor me and start learning how to flip houses. And it wasn't easy, but over the past 17 years now, I've been able to break into lots of different markets, and I figured out how to set up teams and a system to do deals in any market all across the country. Over those 17 years and in that time, I have personally done thousands of real estate deals. From houses to vacant land to new construction, anything and everything related to flipping real estate. You name it, I've done it. Recently, I just completed my first $1 million profit deal. I built and sold this house right here for $5 million and made a net profit of $1.2 million on one deal. Now, talk about a home run, and I've got 3 more $1 million profit deals that I'm currently working on. And for the last 11 or 12 years, my company, Flipping Mastery, has been helping people in every market in the US and abroad get started flipping houses, quit their jobs, and go on to flip houses full-time and build 6-figure and even 7-figure profit businesses. Over the years, I've literally done thousands of online webinar trainings like this one that you're watching right now, teaching people how to successfully flip houses. And I've built the #1 channel on YouTube called Flipping Mastery TV with something like 1,000 videos about how to make money flipping houses. I developed the nation's #1 house flipping software. So when it really comes down to it, no one has created more content, more training, and more tools for flipping real estate than I have. And honestly, all said and done, I don't think anyone has helped more people make money flipping than I have, which I take very seriously. And the best part is my how-to trainings, my course programs, my YouTube videos, tools, resources, software. It's all been designed so that anyone, regardless of background and experience, can start making money and without credit. My point with sharing this is not to brag, but to simply point out 2 things. 1, that I'm highly qualified to help you be successful flipping houses, and 2, that because I've personally been so successful in my own real estate business, I want to fund 100% of your deals. I hope you realize what a game changer this is to have access to deals and buyers and have me fund 100% of the transaction for you. You see, historically, real estate investing has always been the big leagues where only the elite few with a lot of money, credit, and connections could really participate. The old adage that it takes money to make money is certainly true in real estate and has always limited the playing field and made the barrier to entry nearly impossible for the little guy. This has allowed the big juggernauts to become extremely wealthy and to dominate real estate and make it really difficult for everyday people who don't have a ton of cash and credit to get into the game. But all of that changed in recent years when an obscure real estate technique came to light called wholesaling. Now, in case you don't know, wholesaling is when you find a distressed property from a motivated seller and agree in writing to buy the house from that seller at a discount for all cash. But rather than purchase the property yourself with cash, instead you find a different investor who does have the cash and wants the deal, and you assign or flip your contract to that investor for a fee. Now, that technique is commonly referred to as wholesaling a house, but it's really just an assignment of contract. So for example, let's say I find a distressed property and the seller is motivated to sell his property, and because it needs fixed up and the seller doesn't have the money to fix it up and he just wants to get rid of it, so he agrees to sell it to you for, let's say, $185,000 cash, and you and the seller execute a written contract. Now, you know it's a good deal, but you don't have the cash to buy it yourself and fix it up or the desire to do so. But you do know another investor who not only has the cash to buy it and fix it up, but also has the desire because he'll make a profit selling it for top dollar to a retail buyer after it's fixed up. So you take your contract for $185,000 and you assign it to the cash buyer flipper for $200,000. So then what happens is on the day of closing, the cash buyer comes with $185,000 for the seller and $15,000 for you, the wholesaler. You made $15,000 and did not have to come up with any money for the deal. You never even owned the property or had to fix up anything. You just made $15,000 for finding a good deal, executing a contract with the seller, and then assigning that contract to a flipper. Thanks to this assignment of contract technique, for the first time ever, someone with no money could break into the game of real estate and start making a lot of money. That is my story. When I started, I was broke, barely scraping by, digging holes for work, living paycheck to paycheck, earning minimum wage, and with no money and no credit, I started wholesaling houses and within 3 years became a millionaire. Now that was 17 years ago, and at the time, hardly anyone knew about wholesaling. Like I said, assigning a contract was an obscure technique that hardly anyone knew about, but in recent years, thanks to people like me who teach extensively how to do it, wholesaling has now become a mainstream industry. This has been both good and bad. Good because I've helped thousands of people who are like me, broke and miserable, break into the game of real estate, learn how to wholesale with no money, and quickly become financially free. The downside is because wholesaling has become so popular in recent years and is now a mainstream industry, it's gotten a lot of attention and is under heavy scrutiny from the regulatory agencies. Just like any industry, now that wholesaling is big enough, the government is stepping in the name of protecting the consumer and enforcing regulation. Heck, you have to have a license to do hair and nails. With wholesaling, regulation is coming and it's coming fast, and I believe in the near future, it will become illegal to do assignments. Just in the past year or so, there have been multiple states and municipalities that have passed legislation prohibiting the ability to wholesale real estate via an assignment of contract or mandating specific licensing. The entire state of Illinois passed heavy regulation about wholesaling with a $25,000 fine for a first offense. Oklahoma recently passed strict regulation. The city of Philadelphia just passed a law requiring more regulation and licensing for wholesalers. And since I wholesale and flip houses all across the country, I've been paying close attention to these new regulations. And if it was just about licensing and best practices, that would be one thing. I'm actually okay with that. But the sentiment from the regulatory boards, which by the way is being spearheaded by the National Association of Realtors, who hates wholesaling and views wholesalers as competition, is that wholesaling is harmful to sellers and is unethical and it should be prohibited. I mean, the name of the Oklahoma law that was passed is called the Predatory Real Estate Wholesaler Prohibition Act. They put predatory and wholesaler and prohibition in the same sentence. And that's what Philly is doing as well, demonizing wholesalers. In regards to the new law in Philly, the city council stated, "We need this legislation to protect homeowners from the targeted, aggressive, and predatory tactics and misleading practices employed to siphon them, homeowners, of valuable assets, their homes." And it's not just regulatory agencies that have a problem with wholesaling. Because of so much negative press, more and more title companies are deciding not to do assignment closings. To me, this is really sad because by and large, I believe wholesalers are a huge blessing to the marketplace by helping distressed sellers and doing the hard work to find and source properties for developers, flippers, and investors who revitalize neighborhoods. Wholesalers play a vital role in the real estate market. And my wholesaler friends are some of the most honest and ethical people I know who have a heart of gold for helping distressed sellers. Sure, there are some bad apples just like every industry. Shoot, I know more shady real estate agents than I do wholesalers, for crying out loud. But the point isn't whether or not wholesaling is good or bad. That's not the point, and arguing about it doesn't change the fact that the assignment of contract technique is going away. What that means is when you execute a contract with a seller for, let's say, $185,000, you will have to perform as the buyer. You won't be able to do a no money assignment, which means you're going to have to close on the deal and fund the purchase. So if you execute a contract with a seller for, let's say, $185,000, you will need $185,000 in cash to do the deal. Once you buy it, you fulfilled the contract then, and you can turn right around and resell it. And this is where I come in. I want to fund 100% of your deals for you. That $185,000 contract with the seller, I want to give you $185,000 to purchase that house. Now, more on that in a minute, but I want to make sure you clearly understand why this is happening. The argument that wholesaling is unethical is because a wholesaler says to a seller that he is a cash buyer and he is going to buy their house for cash for, let's say, $185,000. But the reality is the wholesaler does not actually have the $185,000 cash and has no intention of buying the house for $185,000. Instead, his intention all along is to find a cash buyer and assign his contract for, let's say, $200,000, which there's nothing wrong with that. It's your contractual right to do so. The issue is, and the argument is, that the wholesaler wasn't truthful about his role in the transaction. In other words, how can you say you're a cash buyer when you're not? Might some view that as being deceiving to the seller? Now, there are ways around that to be more transparent with a seller, and you have equitable rights via your contract to do what you want, but the ethics argument has some teeth in it. Now, imagine saying to the seller, I'm a cash buyer and I'm going to buy your house for cash, and then I give you the cash and you actually do perform on that contract and buy the house for cash. Not only is this going to be the only way to flip houses in the near future, think about the confidence you'll have when you talk to sellers and you say with your head held high, I'm going to buy your house for cash, and you mean it and then you do it. No one can prevent you from executing a contract with a seller to buy their house and then you buy it. Now, I'm going to show you how to immediately resell it for a profit, and that's actually technically not wholesaling. That's really just buying and selling real estate, and no one can stop you from doing that. No one can accuse you of doing anything unethical or deceitful. And if you use my contracts, which I'll give you, you fully disclose to the seller that your intent is to flip the house for a profit after you buy it. So even the seller is fully aware and disclosed in writing of your intentions. This is the best way to flip houses, and it will soon be the only way to flip houses. Which is why I'm not waiting another day for more regulations to come down the pike. I've known for some time that this was coming, and when Philly passed their recent regulations, I knew it was time. And you have the opportunity to get in on the ground floor on a new pilot program I'm offering. I've decided to take a large sum of my money, and instead of reinvesting those profits in my own deals, which is what I normally do, I'm going to set aside and dedicate those funds to my 100% funding program. Now, since this is a pilot program, I don't have unlimited funds, so I have to reserve access to a select few who decide to get in now. Getting in now will reserve a spot for my 100% funding program and give them access to do deals that qualify using my 100% funding. Once it's full and all the spots are taken, I'm going to close down the program until I can either put more of my money in or go out and raise money. But at that point, I'll have to charge a lot more for access to the funds. Now, I'm starting this pilot program and I need a handful of people to use my money for deals. And the reason why is so that I can build a proven track record so that when the time is right, I'll be able to start a fund and raise millions of dollars to lend out to flippers. You see, the hardest part about attracting investors who will give me money to lend on deals is, one, they want to see that you've put your own money into lending on deals. And two, they want to see a proven track record of successful transactions. That's why I'm setting aside a big chunk of my money, and that's why I need you to use my money on your deals. So listen, I hope that makes sense to you why I'm doing this. So that means right now I'm looking for 20 people who want to get locked in on my 100% funding pilot program. And for those of you who want more details, I'm going to spend the rest of this training talking about how the 100% funding works. as well as how I'm going to provide you with the software to find deals and find buyers, as well as the tools, paperwork, scripts, and training to help you do your first or next deal in as little as 30 days. But for those of you that don't want to wait and you want to grab one of those 20 spots right this minute, then go to the link on the bottom of your screen. There's a one-time deposit to hold your spot that you get back on your first deal. Now, I'm going to leave that link on the screen for the rest of this training, but remember, there are only 20 spots available right now. If you go to that link and all 20 spots are taken, then you'll see a note that says it's full and there are no more spots available. So for everyone else, let me explain more about how my 100% funding program works, as well as more details about the software and tools so that you can start doing deals right away. But before we keep going, I want to reiterate what I said earlier. For those of you that reserve one of the 20 spots, you get 100% funding, and like I said, you don't personally have to qualify. That means I don't care about your credit or personal financial history. I don't want to see tax returns, bank statements. If you don't have a job or show any income, I don't care. And I don't care if you have a ton of credit card debt, student loans, or even a foreclosure or bankruptcy on your record. You are approved because I'm not the bank. What I do care about is the deal. This is also known as asset-based lending because the only thing that matters is the house and not your creditworthiness. So let me explain the kind of deals I'm looking to fund 100%. The purpose of this funding program is not for fix and flip deals where you're rehabbing houses. That is a different kind of funding. There's nothing wrong with that. I love fix and flip and I do a lot of those deals that way, but fix and flip is hard. The method requires a lot of expertise and it's a ton of work and it's risky managing contractors and staying on budget. And it's very time consuming. Trust me, I've done thousands of rehabs and most of the time it's brain damage. This funding is specifically designed for purchasing and closing on a great deal that you immediately turn around and resell for a profit, which is a lot easier and one of my favorite ways to flip houses because you don't have to do a rehab and manage contractors, which is a lot less work and a lot lower risk. Let someone else do all the work and take all of the risk of rehabbing the house. Best of all, you're not waiting to get paid, so it's faster. You quickly make a profit and then rinse and repeat. What I'm proposing you do is faster and it's easier. Use my software to find a discounted property, then find a hungry cash buyer who wants your deal, then use 100% of my money to fund and flip the deal for a profit. So, to illustrate, let me show a deal I've recently did that's a good example. Using my software, I found a motivated seller who owned a distressed property that once it was fixed up, had an after repair value of $190,000. So that's the price a homeowner would pay to buy that house once it's all fixed up. And using my tools, scripts, and paperwork, I was able to secure the property at a discounted price of $110,000. Now remember, all fixed up, it would sell to a homeowner for $190,000, but rather than try and fix it up and deal with contractors and wait to make a profit, instead, using my software, I found a cash buyer who was willing to spend the time, energy, and effort and money to fix it up himself, and he agreed to pay $155,000 for the deal. So I bought it for $110,000 and immediately turned around and resold it to him for $155,000. And I didn't have to rehab the house and deal with any contractors. So there was no work and it was very little risk. I didn't have to wait to get paid. And best of all, I made a huge profit. So I want to ask you, imagine if you could do a deal like that. How would that change your life? What would you do with that money? Now imagine if you did a deal that way every month. Would you be able to quit the job you hate, be your own boss, work from wherever you want? Would you be able to take care of an aging parent or put your kid through college? Would you be able to buy the house or car of your dreams, or maybe contribute to a cause you really believe in? Would you have more time to spend with your family and maybe travel more? Now I want you to imagine if you could do multiple deals that way every single month. How would your life be different? Imagine the good you could provide in the world if you had the financial means to do so. And really, at the end of the day, what it comes down to, for me anyway, is lifestyle. When I think about what's important to me and what my biggest priorities are in my life, It's my family, my health, and my spiritual well-being. Those are the things that really matter. And so it's really not about the money. I know we talk a lot about the money, and it's important to go out there and make money doing deals, but it's much more than that. It's having the time and freedom to be able to do, have, be, and give everything that's important in life. Some of you know that I took my family on a full-time cross-country RV trip for an entire year in our custom-built RV. It was a life-changing experience that my kids will never forget. So I want you to ask yourself, what's important for you? What's important for you in your life? And then I want to encourage you to go after it in a big way. One of the things that I've learned and I try to do every day is live life without regrets. I just want to encourage you to go after those dreams. Sometimes that means going out on a limb and trying something that you haven't tried before. But if you've got the right attitude and you're willing to put in the effort, whatever it takes, then you'll reach your goals. And so if you've been looking for a way to create financial freedom and live life on your terms, my 100% funding program could be the solution you've been looking for. So to start doing deals like the one I just showed you, you need 6 things. First is access to deals. Now, when I say access to deals, what I mean is distressed properties where the owners are highly motivated to sell them because they desperately need to get rid of those unwanted properties. They don't have the means or the money to fix them up and will eagerly sell them to you at a discount. We call these motivated seller leads, and I've created a software that identifies and finds these highly motivated sellers in all 50 states right in your backyard or wherever you live or wherever you want. That means you don't have to spend time looking for deals. I've already found them for you. The second thing that you need is tools for contacting and communicating with these motivated sellers. My software has tools to get their phone number so that you can call them or text them or get them to call you, plus scripts and training for how to talk to them and what to say. And I've also created a deal analyzer that will instantly tell you the value of the property and the price you need to offer the seller so that you can make money flipping it. The third thing you need are local active investors in the same neighborhood where you got those deals that have the cash and are looking for deals to rehab and flip or rent. My proprietary software provides you these buyers too. You simply take your deals to those cash buyers and they will buy them as fast as you bring them to them and pay you $10,000, $15,000, even $25,000 or more depending on the deal. The fourth thing you need is the exact paperwork to use to secure the deal in writing with the motivated sellers and with those cash buyers. These contracts have taken 17 years to perfect and thousands in legal fees for my attorney to make them ironclad. Not only will I give you my proven contracts, but my software allows you to use them in digital format with electronic signatures. That means you just email it to your seller or buyer and they can sign right on their smartphone or computer, making it 100% paperless. The fifth thing you need is training and support. Are you new to real estate? Doesn't matter. My software comes with tutorials on how to find and analyze deals, make offers, fill out the paperwork, and close on deals. My proprietary flipping software has taken me years to develop and hundreds of thousands of dollars in development costs to create. It really is game changer for organizing, streamlining, and automating the process of finding and flipping houses, which I'll show you in a minute how to get this for free. But the sixth thing you need is the magic ingredient, the secret sauce, the silver lining, and that is access to 100% funding to do those deals. Here's why. Let's say that you grab one of the 20 spots in my pilot funding program. Every time you find a deal and you look a seller in the eyes and you say, "I will buy your house with cash," you can say it with confidence and with conviction. That means no more telling sellers you have cash when you don't. No more telling sellers that you'll buy their house for cash when you can't. No more telling cash buyers that you have a deal that you can't actually close with the seller and you need them to do it for you. It means you can legitimately do no money deals because I'll give you 100% of the money to do those deals. And since cash rules, you'll get steep discounts on deals. And to prove to sellers and even real estate agents, I'll stand behind you that I have the cash. I'll even prove it. I'll give you custom verifiable proof of funds showing you have the money backing you. That means every offer you make will have the property address and the amount of your offer stating you have the funding to back your offer. That will instantly give you credibility and allow you to get home run deals. This means no more doing assignment of contract deals in order to do a no money real estate deal, which, like it or not, agree or disagree, assignments are under serious scrutiny as unethical and are going to be prohibited in the near future, like I explained earlier. You have an opportunity to be an early implementer and get in before it's too late. But since this is a pilot program and I don't have unlimited funds, there are only 20 spots available right now, and most of them are probably taken. So click on the link on the screen and reserve your spot before it's too late. What's cool about using my 100% funding system is you don't even have to find a title company in your local market to do the closings on the deals. My transaction coordinator will handle the entire process from buying the deal to reselling the deal. I'm talking the whole thing from start to finish in any market in the US. You just bring my team your executed paperwork and they will step in and handle everything, including working directly with me on 100% funding. So it's super easy and it's completely hands off. Here's the thing, my 100% funding system is real simple. Use my software to find motivated sellers, use my tools and scripts to contact and negotiate with these sellers, use my deal analyzer to determine your offer price, use my custom verifiable proof of funds to make an all cash offer, use my software to find cash buyers looking for their next deals, use my proven paperwork to secure the deals, use my title company to handle the entire transaction, and most importantly, use my 100% funding to do the deals. I mean, the question you should be asking is, well, Jerry, what do I have to do then? Haha, right? Good question. You still have to put in some effort. You have to use the software and use the tools and secure the deals and secure the buyers. You have to use the program. That's the part I can't do for you. But what's so incredible is my 100% funding system provides you with everything you need to successfully find and flip deals, including 100% funding. Never before has there been something available that is so complete to allow someone with literally no experience in real estate to get into the game without needing any money and without needing any credit and start doing real estate deals and start gaining financial freedom. But this is not for everyone, and I don't have unlimited funds. So like I mentioned earlier, I'm opening up this pilot program right now for just 20 people who are serious about using my 100% funding system, and many of those spots are probably already taken. I believe this is the ultimate win-win. I give you access to my proprietary software and tools, paperwork, scripts, training, and I give you 100% funding for those deals. And in turn, you help me create a successful track record funding deals so I can eventually go out and start a fund and raise a lot of money. So here's how the funding works. The market rate for providing this type of 100% funding is 2 to 4 points per deal. Now, in case you don't know, 1 point is equal to a lump sum fee of 1% of the loan. Okay, so for example, let's say that you get a great deal under contract with a motivated seller for $100,000 that you're going to flip for, let's say $120,000. To fund 100% of the money for the purchase of $100,000 at 3 points, that would cost a lump sum of $3,000. 4 points would be $4,000. Now that range in cost between 2 to 4 points fluctuates based on the lender, the market, availability, and demand for money. But keep in mind, that fee is paid when you flip the house, so it comes out of your profit, so it doesn't cost you anything up front. In fact, if you go to my 100% funding website right now, or anyone else goes there, my cost for 100% funding is 4 points plus a $1,000 loan doc prep fee per transaction. Now, those fees are not exorbitant or unrealistic. That's actually normal. Like I said, those fees are actually market rate and reasonably fair for that type of funding. But since you're here right now, if you sign up for one of those 20 spots, I will waive the $1,000 doc fee for life. Plus, I'll reduce the fee from 4 points to 1 point per transaction for life. And I'll even do your very first deal for free. No charge for 100% funding on your first deal. Then after your first deal, you are grandfathered in for life at 1 point per deal going forward. And since this is limited to just 20 people, the best way that I can think of to make sure that I only get people who are serious about doing deals is to collect a fully refundable deposit to hold one of those 20 spots. Remember, I only have limited funds, so I have to reserve those funds for people who are actually going to go out and do deals. It doesn't do anyone any good if I use up one of those spots and then you don't use the system and the funding to find and fund deals. So to get in on the ground level and join my pilot program and reserve one of those 20 spots, it's just a one-time deposit of $1,000, which of course is refunded on your first deal. Now, the reason why I made that deposit $1,000 is because it's high enough to weed out anyone who's not super committed and low enough that anyone who is serious about doing deals and making money can still get in now. Again, I don't care about your $1,000 deposit. It's a deposit, so you get it back on your first deal. The $1,000 is to hold your spot and lock you in for life with no $1,000 loan doc fee and lock you in for life at only 1 point per transaction. And your first deal is free, as well as getting your $1,000 deposit back. Now, if you sign up and you don't do your part and don't use the system and the tools and don't do any deals, then your $1,000 deposit covers a tiny fraction of my costs to operate this program. So please, please don't send me a DM or contact my office and ask if you can skip the deposit and take it out on the first deal or something like that. That wouldn't be fair to the others who put down the deposit, and that never works. I'll show a commitment to you by providing the system and the 100% funding if you show a commitment to me by making a temporary financial sacrifice to have access to the system. So if this is an opportunity that you've been looking for, and if you're ready to go all in and there are still some spots left, click the Add to Cart button that you should see on your screen or that link on the bottom of the slide, and my team is standing by. Once you've reserved your spot, you'll get a confirmation email that your spot has been reserved, and then you're locked in for life. And for those of you that have signed up, let me take a few minutes and explain what you're going to get and how to get started right away. First is you're going to get a login to the 100% funding system. Once logged into the members area, you'll see a getting started video. That video will explain everything you need to start using the software to find deals and buyers, as well as how to submit deals for funding. And you'll see other videos that break down an action plan to start finding and flipping deals. The goal is to get your first deal in the next 30 days. Now remember, 100% funding is pointless if you don't know how to find and flip deals. So here's everything that you'll get if you're one of the 20 who sign up right now. First is access to my proprietary software. This costs $297 per month. That's what everyone else pays for access. But if you're one of the 20 who signs up today, I'll give you 90 days for free. That's an $891 value that you get for free and has everything you need to get your first deal in the next 30 days, including 400 private seller leads per month from over a dozen different motivated seller lead types, unlimited access to my on-market deal finder tool and Craigslist scraper tool, a robust CRM tool and workflow system for managing your contracts and properties, multiple tools for contacting sellers and scripts so you know exactly what to say, an instant deal analyzer tool so you know exactly what to offer on your deals, digital contracts that allow sellers and buyers to sign electronically on their phone or computer, 100% local active cash buyers in the same neighborhood as your deals that are eager to buy up your deals, plus a custom website for attracting sellers, and a custom website to market and showcase your deals to cash buyers. And if you're new to real estate, don't worry. In addition to the tutorial videos for how to use the software and tools, I'll also give you 2 of my most popular home study training programs about how to find and flip deals for huge profits. These training programs sell for $1,000 each, and I'm giving them to you for free because I want you to have every single tool, resource, and training to find and flip deals that I can fund for you. Like I said, everything you need to find and flip deals with 100% funding is at your fingertips, but you have to take action. Click the Add to Cart button that you should see on your screen, or go to that link right there on the bottom of the slide and reserve one of the 20 remaining spots, if there are any left. Click the Add to Cart button that you should see on your screen, or go to the link that's on the bottom of the slide that will reserve one of those 20 remaining spots. Remember, for a one-time deposit of $1,000, you get lifetime access to 100% funding for as many deals as you want, and your first deal is funded for free. And after that, you get locked in at a rate of 1 point per deal instead of 4 points, which is what everyone else pays. And the $1,000 doc prep fee per deal is waived for life. You also get unlimited verifiable proof of funds so that you can prove to sellers that you have the cash backing you. And my title company will handle the entire transaction for you and close all your deals. And don't forget, your $1,000 deposit to hold your spot is returned on your first deal, so this ends up costing you absolutely nothing. And to help you get your first deal in the next 30 days, you get 90 days access to my proprietary software that has deals and buyers and all the tools you need to find and flip deals, which has a real world value of $891. And as an added bonus, 2 of my most popular home study training programs for how to find and flip deals for huge profits, which has a real world value of $2,000. If you miss out on this opportunity now and no new spots are opened up, or once I end the pilot program, or as soon as an assignment becomes prohibited, you'll have to go to my website, apply for funding there, and pay the $1,000 doc prep fee per deal, plus 4 points per deal, and you won't get my proprietary software or bonus training programs. So don't wait. Reserve your spot right now. Again, go to that link at the bottom of the slide. So for everyone else, we are about out of time. To all of you on the call, and especially for those of you who have signed up, congratulations on making this very wise decision. We will see you inside the members area, and thanks so much for joining me here today. And finally, before we end, I have one final thought. This is something that I said earlier. It's something that I try to say all the time. It's the driving force behind everything that I do and believe. Doing real estate is not about the money. I know I talk a lot about the money, but it's not about the money. It's not the money that matters. What really matters is what the money can do. To me, it's about having the time and freedom to have, be, do, and give everything that God has in store for me. The things that really matter. So I hope you believe that too. With that, we'll end. Thank you, and God bless.